Welcome to episode 49 of the Rise Fitness and Nutrition Podcast. I am your host, Carlo. Today we are talking about something that is very underrated, resting, and why you need to do that. Also, this will be a little different because it will be a lot coming from my experience. So I hope this is useful. If you like this podcast, please share it with everybody. Happy listening. I'm guilty. I am super guilty of this, and I am here to help you understand why resting is as important as training. So the next time that anybody at the gym, your trainer, your friends, whoever tells you, come on man, no rest days, tell them to shut the F up, because that's just silly and actually is counterproductive. And today we are going to talk about why is that. Let me tell you something more about me so you can also understand why I am guilty. I am one of those people that cannot understand when it's time to rest. I was one of them. And I still struggle with that. I still struggle up today to understand when my body has had enough and I need to drop the weight or let the bike rest and sit down, sleep, recover before going into the next session. And again, I still struggle with this because somewhere in my brain, there's a little Carlo that says, more. You did one, you can do two. You did two, you can do three. You did 1 kilometer, you can do 15 more. And that's a problem. That's a problem because in the long term, the more you overexert your body without proper rest and proper recovery, the more you become prone to injuries. And that's the point. I had a long list of injuries over time. Most of them were caused by a combination, a delightful combination of overtraining and stupidity. And trust me, that's the worst combination you might want to have when you are working out and when you're doing things that could be potentially dangerous with your body, that normally are not. But when you put the salt and pepper of this topic, stupidity and overtraining, they can be very dangerous. I will not list here all the injuries that I caused myself, but I will just tell you that I could have avoided the majority of them. Some of them could have been avoided because as I was practicing martial art, I more than often put myself in a situation where I was not able to fight and or defend myself properly, and then I caused injuries to my joints, specifically my wrists, my knees, my shoulders, but that's another topic. The other injuries that I caused myself, most of them were because I was too tired, and when you are tired and you lift weights, your form suffers. And if your form suffers, you exponentially increase the risk of injuring any part of your body while lifting heavy weights because you cannot keep the form right. One for all, for example, deadlifts. If you deadlift too much weight and or you are too tired, you didn't recover from the previous sessions, if you go heavy and you screw up the form, you can cause a significantly dangerous injury to your lower back. Or if you squat and your form is not on point already, plus you increase the weight, plus you are tired, you can again cause significantly high damages to your lower back, to your knees, and God only knows where else. What I want to say here is that there are injuries and situations that you can avoid if only you knew your limits. Far from saying that you don't know your limits, but coming from someone like me that really went insane, it is a good piece of advice. Let's talk about fatigue for you to understand a little bit more what I mean. When you do very demanding exercise or very intense exercise, you cause your body to be fatigued, yes, but you also cause your body to have CNS, Central Nervous System fatigue. Now, your central nervous system, very simplified, is your brain and your spinal cord. And your brain talks to the spinal cord that will tell your body to move and to coordinate to do whatever you want to do. In this case, lift any weight, or do a deadlift, or do whatever you're planning to do. Now you can imagine that the harder you work out, the higher the intensity, the more your energy will decrease over time, and the more your central nervous system, your CNS, will be fatigued. And the higher the fatigue, the lower the ability of your body to move according to the signals your brain sends. To make it simple, it will be harder for you to be focused, to do the right form in the exercises, or perform at a high level in any sports. Catch the ball at the right position, sprint when you need them, turn when you need them, do any kind of action that requires a high degree of coordination and a very fast response. And when this happens, over time, you expose yourself to injuries. Because, for example, if you cannot lift with proper form, boom, you get an injury. If you are playing a team sport and you need to twist and turn around to run after your opponents, or you have a ball to catch, if you cannot perform the right movement, you risk ruining your knees, or you might fall, and falling might create injuries. You get what I mean. And what's the simplest thing you can do to try to reduce the risk of those injuries because you're too tired? Resting. Now, there's a big culture that says no rest days, give all you got, you sleep when you're dead, or you sleep tomorrow, and I think that's just plain stupid. It works amazingly as a claim over a t-shirt, but it doesn't work in real life because there's only so much energy that you have. If you imagine your energy as a blanket, there's only so much blanket you can pull. And the harder you stretch the blanket, the higher the risk of the blanket of snapping. And when it snaps, and you do actually injure yourself, it takes months to recover. So if today you're going to the gym, or you're wearing your running shoes and you are tired, you didn't sleep enough, or you simply had a very long streak of very heavy trainings, or whatever kind of session that made you physically tired, think about it twice before hitting your new record. What is the advantage of hitting your record today or crushing this training session today instead of waiting one day, rest, sleep, eat right, and then try tomorrow? What's going to change? Nothing is going to change. Actually, there's a lot of things that can change. If you rest today, chances are it might be easier for you to hit your record tomorrow or the next week because you gave your body time to recover. So, and that's one of the things I struggle the most. I need to tell myself, what's the point? This is not a race. This is a long-term situation. Your life is long-term. If you don't hit your record today, but you hit that in 2 or 3 days or in a week, nothing is going to change. And also, I'm saying this from the perspective of a normal person. I'm not saying this from the perspective of an Olympian, okay? So take that into consideration. For you and I, as normal people, sometimes hitting your best record today, or doing that in a 2 or 3 days or in a week, will be exactly the same, with actually the big advantage of avoiding injuries. Because once you're injured and you had to stay put for 2 or 3 months, that is not only a pain in the neck, but it's also going to affect your performance because reasonably you take 2 or 3 months, if not more, off. So when you start again, you had to start super easy, and then it takes time to build up the performance to the moment before you got your injury. And this is also a little bit borderline with training obsession, which I am guilty of having as well. Skipping a training session for me was very hard to swallow. I needed to train. I needed to go every single damn day. And after every injury, I got depression because I couldn't do anything. My injury is never going to go away. I'm going to carry this over. My sport activity is done, and so on and so forth. So the implications of having an injury today because you couldn't make the wise choice of sit down, rest, and relax are much worse. And this is a continuous struggle for me. Every day that I skip the gym, I still had to remind myself that it's going to be okay, that my muscle will still be there tomorrow, and then even if I don't hit the record today, nobody will care. And the truth is, nobody cares but you. So if you are in a situation like this, when you're struggling, when you feel like guilty if you don't do your workout today, breathe. Listen to my voice. It's okay. It's fine. And the same goes for your nutrition. If you ate too much today, breathe. It's fine. You don't have to go to the gym and punish yourself. If you didn't sleep enough, or if you have troubles sleeping, rather than going to the gym and try to crush as many weights as you can, as many reps as you can, try to sleep first. Training less hard, but giving your body time to recover is as equally important, if not more important, than hitting your records or running the extra mile or doing 15 kilometers, a gym session, and a karate training. Yeah, that was me. It doesn't make any sense. If you don't respect your body and if you don't give yourself time to recover, it's pointless. The more you overexert yourself and the less you recover, the worse the situation will become. And reasonably, it takes time to reach the point of no return. And by no return, I mean the point where you crash hard and you do some serious damage to yourself. So you do have a lot of signals that will tell you that your body is tired and needs to recover. Some of those, you have troubles sleeping. Even if you think you're sleeping a lot of hours, you keep on waking up consistently tired. Or your appetite is not matching your needs. Either you're super hungry consistently, or you're craving food consistently, or you're not hungry at all. There are signals that your body sends to give you the wake-up call. If you have mood swings, if you behave in a way that it doesn't sound like you, mostly probably, if you're overexerting yourself, you are really close to the point of no return. So understand what your body tells you. And I'm telling you as I'm telling me. Skipping trainings, taking it easy, is perfectly fine. It's actually encouraged. And anybody else that tells you that you shouldn't rest, that you should get pushed harder, is an idiot. End of the story. And one last thing, don't make the same mistake that I made, saying that I'm strong enough, I can take it. Because this might be another red flag. Maybe you are not as strong as you think. Or maybe you are, but your body is not on point because it's exhausted. So, rest. And why do you need to do that? For your own safety and for your long-term performance and satisfaction. Trust an idiot. What do you think? Do you think I'm resting enough? Are you facing any of the issues that I just talked to you about? Please, please, please be careful because your body is only one. Don't ruin that. Don't make the same mistakes I made. I hope that this was useful to you. If you feel like you have somebody that needs to hear this, please share this podcast with them. Have a nice rest of the week.